Hi guys, it's Patricia and welcome to Tester Tuesday, a spot where Scentsy addicts join every week to hear me discuss 2 scents typically, and usually I warm them from my tester stash. So stick around because at the end of the video, you can help decide what 2 scents I'm gonna warm next week by voting. So last week we had a lot of votes, 308. So again, getting close to the record. And in first place, we have this light pink colored wax. With 29% of the vote, it is Spring Forward, and this is coming back June 1st, Bring Back My Bar. And in second place, we have a pink colored wax, almost the same color, a little darker. It is Fiji Flower, and that one had 22% of the vote, and that one's in the summer collection. So let's talk about our first place scent this week. It is Spring Forward. This is on cold sniff, about a medium to a medium plus in intensity. Now this was my very first scent of the month as a consultant. So it was scent of the month for March 2018, but I became a consultant in February. So you usually get the kit 1 month early. So this one is probably, I would say, it's hard to know, maybe put it in the fresh. It's kind of like a question mark category. So let me read you the scent description. It says, if sunshine had a scent, it would be this burst of Italian bergamot, raspberry jam, and cedarwood. So I don't really find this a sunny type of scent. To me, it doesn't really read like a sunshine scent. I don't really know what Italian bergamot is, but bergamot is like a citrus. It's very, very strong on cold sniff in this particular bar. My tester didn't seem quite as strong on the bergamot, but this one seems very strong. Raspberry jam. I don't know if I get raspberry jam. I get like a sweetness. And cedarwood, yes, it smells like damp wood chips to me. So one thing I will say right off the bat is this is a very unique scent. I don't think I've ever smelled anything quite like this before. So I would put it in the warmer, and I actually like it after about 10 to 12 hours. The first few hours are very intense with the bergamot, and it smells like a damp spring day with a lot of woodsiness and not so much florals, but like a weird citrusy tone to me. Then after about 10 to 12 hours, some of that bergamot I think leaves, and I'm left with a little bit of a nicer, sweeter, woodsy, outdoorsy scent. It's really hard to describe. I usually try to do my best to describe scents to you, but this one I really struggle with. I talked about on my live video that I struggled to describe this one. So one of my viewers from that live video, her name is Elizabeth, she had a great comment, and I'll put it here. Her comment says, Spring Forward is sharp, elegant, and bright, but a little earthy. So I think she kind of hit the nail on the head and described it much better than I could. But let me just tell you, this is not my first experience with Spring Forward. Like I said, back in the day, I had 9 bars of it, so I felt like I warmed it a lot. And I actually usually mixed it with a peppermint scent, I think to just kind of disguise the scent a little bit. And it's not that I disliked it, it's not that I liked it, I just didn't have much of a feeling for it. I was just using the bars to use them up. So this was one of the scents, when I saw it come back, I was actually pretty surprised because it didn't have a great response from the public, so I gathered, but maybe I was wrong. And I think maybe it did come back because it is unique. So anyway, how did this do? Well, I had some testers here. So I took these testers, which made this much wax in my vino warmer, and I put it there. Strength and throw was not the greatest. I only got 5 out of 10 in that room. Now that's a challenging room, so I always take it with a grain of salt. But that's a pretty good warmer. I left it going 3 days, 35 hours. Now I must say, throughout that 3 days, sometimes I could smell it well and other times I couldn't smell it well, so I don't know. Perhaps it's the person smelling it. I don't know. Anyway, I took these 3 cubes and I put them between a 25 watt warmer, and in the bathroom part of his room, a 12 watt element, the succulent. And it did much better downstairs in my son's room, 7.5 out of 10 at the max. And then it slowly starts to dip. Now it's at about the 47-hour mark. We're on like almost the full 2 days. So I put it in Saturday morning, and here we are Monday morning. So when I walked in, I could smell it. It was probably like a 3 or 4 out of 10. So that's not too bad. It's more pleasant, like I said, now than in the early stages for me. So I think if you're someone that likes unique scents, then you want to pick this up. And this scent kind of reminds me of, sometimes in vendor wax, they actually put a whole bunch of scent notes together And sometimes they work out great and other times they're a bit strange. And I feel like it's the latter one for me with this one. It reads a little bit strange. And again, I think for me, area is important for this. I would not warm this in my open layout because I have in the past. It just kind of got lost there. But in my son's room, which is a medium zone, it did okay. In my bonus room, which is also a medium zone, it didn't do the greatest. So you just might have to fiddle around with this one. Use different warmers, try it in different rooms and see what works best for you. Would I repurchase this? No, I would not. I've had quite a bit of spring forward in my life. I think I'm good. But again, a very unique scent with mixed performance. Seems to be fairly long lasting in the rooms I can get it to work well in. Okay, so let's move on to our second place scent for the week. It is Fiji Flower. This is a summer collection scent. And on cold sniff, I find this pretty strong. I would say medium, maybe even slightly above medium. And I would put this in the floral category. So the scent description is a vivid lei, delicately crafted with pink plumeria and pear blossom, wraps around an air of apple. Now, on cold sniff, I really like this. I find it fairly perfumey, but not alcohol perfumey, more like floral, fruity perfumey. So that apple comes into play and it just kind of takes the floral down to a really pleasant level. I feel like I get a lot of plumeria, so if you don't like plumeria, you might want to stay away from the scent, but I also get a lot of apple. I'm not sure about pear blossom. It's a pretty soft floral, and I think the apple really helps things out. Now, I find when I put it in the warmer, it reminded me of a shampoo. And I remember thinking, that's what it is. It reminds me of a shampoo. And then I watched another video, Shannon Lee, she's a Canadian, and she actually mentioned it reminded her of, I don't know if she said a shampoo or a hair product, and I'm nodding my head in agreement. So that's what it reminds me of. Now I put 2 cubes here in my bedroom. So it didn't do very well in my bedroom, but stay tuned because there is good news on the horizon. So here in my bedroom, it only did about a 4 to 5 out of 10. I couldn't really smell it the greatest. It kind of got lost. And at times I was thinking, what am I warming? Oh yes, I'm warming Fiji Flower. So I think I left it going a couple of days, around 25 hours, because I could kind of get gentle whiffs, but anyway. So then I took 2 cubes because this is kind of my testing zone. So if things don't do well in my testing zone, then I go to a smaller area. All right, so I took 2 cubes and put them in my kid's bathroom. I have a 15-watt mini warmer next to each sink. So there's 2 15-watt mini warmers. I put 2 cubes in there. Holy Hannah! It did phenomenal there. I would say like 9 out of 10. Crazy strong. So I don't know. And I mean, sometimes if the door's closed and you walk in, of course it's going to seem strong, but it just seemed really strong in there. So I left it going in there almost 40 hours over 2-day time frame. So it did really well there. And in my daughter's room, it's still going. It's just because it's morning time. I don't want to go in and check it. But the funny thing is, in her room, it smelled more like conditioner because it had a tiny bit of a waxy tone in her room. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the smell in her room or maybe she smells like wax. I don't know. But anyway, it smelled more like conditioner in her room, but it was still very pleasant. In her room, the 2 cubes were 7 out of 10. And like I said, we're about the 48-hour mark, but I probably could have removed it last night because it started to change in its quality and become a little bit waxy. So anyway, I was trying to think, well, what does this remind me of to try to help you guys? I think maybe a little bit of picked for you, a little bit of hibiscus water together, but it's even stronger than that and a little bit more aromatic, like shampoo-like. Oh, I really like it though. So it's funny, if I would have went on how it did in my bedroom, I would not have repurchased. But because it did so well in the bathroom and in her bedroom, I definitely will repurchase at least 1 bar. And it might have just been the warmer because I'm fiddling around with warmers here and I'm trying to see which one I like to use the best in my room. But yes, always a good reminder with both of these scents this week. Location is very important. So that is definite repurchase for Fiji Flower, maybe 1 bar. Not a repurchase for Spring Forward for me. But I was still, you know, it was nice to revisit it and it makes me think of when I first joined Scentsy. All right, so now we're going to move to the portion of the video where I'm going to draw 6 scents from my big tester box that you can't see here, but I'm leaning on it. And you guys are going to pick 2 different scents by early Wednesday morning and put your votes down in the comments section below. If you cannot vote on YouTube, you can find me on Instagram. It's Patricia Gates. I have a Tester Tuesday post. You can put your votes there. So one thing I want to do is, I think for the next little bit, I'm actually going to throw in some LTO scents, which means limited time offer scents or limited time only scents, I forget. And that way, if you want to hear about those, you can, and it actually helps me warm them, but you don't have to feel obliged to vote for those. Now, I did do a Bring Back My Bar video where I talked about Bring Back My Bars, and I actually had a 6-pack, and I forgot to talk about these scents. So the first 2 scents are going to actually be from the Father's Day collection. So scent number 1 is going to be Perfect Gentleman. I call this the PG scent because it's got my initials. So this one here, scent number 1, and I will actually put the scent description below so that you can see it because I didn't really talk about it. So, but in general, let me just tell you a quick little synopsis. I think if you like Twitter painted and add a little bit more greenness to it, then that's this one. Scent number 2 is going to be Vanilla Bourbon. And again, I'll put the scent notes below. This one here, it reminds me a little bit of Butter Pecan. Reminds me of Toffee Butter Crunch. I like it. Anyway, I'll see if I get to warm it next week. So that's scent number 2. I feel like I'm kind of cheating because I'm adding limited time only scents, but if, you know, it might be a good idea to do that. Scent number 3 is a huge bag of Paradise Punch. Okay, this is very full because I replenished the box. Scent number 4, Route 66. We'll go in this old bag again here. Scent number 5, Honeydew. And scent number 6, Go Wildflowers. So let's go over our voting options for the week. We have scent number 1 is Perfect Gentleman. That is in the Father's Day collection, still available right now. Scent number 2, Vanilla Bourbon, also the same. Scent number 3 is Paradise Punch. This is a spring and summer seasonal scent that you can get right now. Scent number 4 is Route 66. This actually came back in a Bring Back My Bar maybe 1 to 2 sessions ago. Honeydew is a retired scent, quite old by the testers. And scent number 6 is Go Wildflowers. I think this is probably around 2016, 2017. So thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. I hope you guys have a great day in your neck of the woods. My favorite day of the week. I can't wait to see what you guys vote for. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.